First, basketball star Caitlin Clark was chosen as the Associated Press's WNBA Rookie of the Year.
All the votes are in and it's unanimous.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark was voted WNBA Rookie of the Year. Surprise, surprise. Put up the stats that the league had never seen before.
LeBron James, one of the greatest to ever play basketball, saw something special in Caitlin Clark early on. He said he knew her talent would translate to the pro level, but does King James's seal of approval mean Clark is destined for WNBA greatness? Well, not everyone was so sure. You know what's crazy? Some WNBA veterans weren't buying the hype. They had their doubts about how Clark would handle the pros. Can you imagine the pressure? It's like everyone's waiting to see if she'll sink or swim. So here's the big question. Is Clark living up to all the expectations, or is she struggling to keep her head above water in the big leagues? The stakes are sky high, and everyone's watching. But here's where things get interesting.
She broke the single season record with 337 assists, including a league record 19 in one game. Clark also scored the most points ever for a rookie.
Good for her.
Clark was also named in the AP's All-WNBA First Team and the All-Rookie Team. The 22-year-old became the first rookie to record a triple-double. Clark also holds the record for the most three-pointers made by a rookie in.
Remember how some veterans doubted Clark? Well, those doubts didn't last long. What if I told you Clark didn't just meet expectations? She completely rewrote the record books. The numbers she put up are so insane, they're making people question everything they thought they knew about rookie seasons. Let's talk about Caitlin Clark's rookie year. It wasn't just good, it was historic. She didn't just break records, she shattered them. We're talking about a season that's barely been seen in pro basketball, period. First off, Clark was named the unanimous Rookie of the Year. That's right, unanimous. Every single voter looked at her season and said, yep, she's the one. But that's not all. She also made the All-WNBA First Team as a rookie. That's like showing up to your first day of work and immediately getting promoted to CEO. Now, let's dive into the numbers, because they're absolutely mind-blowing. Clark dished out 337 assists this season. That's not just good for a rookie, that's the most assists in a single season in WNBA history. She broke the record.
In league history, she recently led the Indiana Fever to its first playoff appearance since 2016.
She is the biggest ratings lightning rod magnet, obviously, in women's basketball history.
Is of course Caitlin Clark, who just led the Indiana Fever to an above 500 record for the first time in 5 years.
As a rookie, that's insane. But wait, there's more. Clark also scored 769 points. Again, that's not just impressive for a rookie, that's the most points ever scored by a rookie in WNBA history. She averaged 19.2 points, 8.4 assists, and 5.7 rebounds per game. You know how many other players in WNBA history have put up those numbers? Zero, zilch, nada. And we're not done yet. Clark became the first rookie in WNBA history to record a triple-double. And she didn't just do it once, she did it twice. In her rookie season, that's like getting 2 hole-in-ones your first time playing golf.
Caitlin Clark broke every offensive record that a rookie ever had, and some that veterans have had, assists and others. In your rookie year, all the hate going on yesterday, that idiot Carrington poked her in the eye. I don't know whether it was on purpose or not, but I know a lot of players, myself included, that knew how to do that on purpose.
Oh, and remember that assist record we talked about earlier? Well, in one game against the Dallas Wings, Clark decided to really show off. She dished out 19 assists in a single game. That's a new WNBA record, again, as a rookie. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but how does this compare to other great rookie seasons? Well, let me put it this way. Only 11 players in NBA history have had a season with stats comparable to Clark's rookie year. We're talking about a level of play that's rare even among the best of the best in men's basketball. To put it in perspective, Clark broke the rookie scoring record previously held by Simone Augustus. She also broke the all-time season assists record held by Alyssa Thomas. These aren't just good players she's surpassing, these are WNBA legends. Clark's on-court dominance is only half the story. Behind the scenes, a storm was brewing. How did she manage to silence her critics and overcome the noise surrounding her debut year? You'd think that breaking records left and right would be enough to shut down any doubters, right? Well, not quite. Caitlin Clark's rookie season wasn't just about breaking records. It was about breaking through barriers of skepticism and negativity. From day one, Clark was under a microscope. Everyone was watching, waiting to see if she'd live up to the hype. Some WNBA veterans weren't shy about downplaying her achievements. It's like they were saying, sure, you were great in college, but this is the big leagues now. Imagine stepping onto the court with that kind of pressure. Every move you make is scrutinized. Every shot you miss becomes fuel for the critics. That's the kind of environment Clark had to navigate in her rookie year. But here's where it gets really tough. The criticism wasn't just coming from other players or sports analysts. Clark, along with other players like Angel Reese, faced a barrage of online abuse throughout the season. We're talking about hateful comments, trolls, and negativity that goes way beyond normal sports trash talk. Clark didn't stay quiet about it either. She spoke up, saying that these hateful comments don't represent true fans of the league. It's one thing to deal with pressure on the court, but dealing with this kind of negativity off the court, that's a whole different ball game. But you know what's amazing? Clark didn't let it break her. In fact, she used it as fuel. ESPN host Andrea Carter praised Clark for her ability to rise above all the BS and noise surrounding her debut year. That's not just talent, that's mental toughness. Think about it. Clark's not just playing basketball, she's also navigating media scrutiny, managing expectations, and dealing with online trolls, all while trying to prove herself in the most competitive women's basketball league in the world. That's a lot for anyone to handle, let alone a rookie. But here's where Clark really showed her mettle. Instead of crumbling under the pressure, she thrived. Remember all those records we talked about earlier? She set those while dealing with all this extra noise. That's not just impressive, that's downright inspirational. And you know what's even crazier? Clark's performance didn't just impact her personal stats. She turned around the entire Indiana Fever franchise. Before Clark arrived, the Fever had been struggling. They hadn't made the playoffs since 2016. But with Clark leading the charge, they're back in the postseason picture. Think about that for a second. A rookie comes in, faces unprecedented scrutiny and pressure, and not only performs at a historic level, but also elevates her entire team. That's the kind of impact that goes beyond numbers in a stat sheet. Clark's performance left jaws on the floor, but it's the reactions that are truly mind-blowing. Ever wonder how a boyfriend, a rival, and former teammates respond to such a dominant rookie season? Their words paint a picture you won't see in the stats. Let's start with Connor McCaffrey, Caitlin Clark's boyfriend. You'd think he'd be over the moon, right? Well, his reaction was, duh. Yep, that's it. Just duh. Posted on his Instagram stories. It's like he's saying, of course she won. Did you expect anything less? That's not just confidence in your girlfriend. That's next level belief in her skills. Now, here's where things get interesting. Remember Angel Reese? The media's been trying to cook up this big rivalry between her and Clark. But guess what? After the Rookie of the Year announcement, Reese posted on social media about feeling very blessed. Some people saw this as a nod to Clark's win. It's like Reese is saying, hey, we can compete on the court and still support each other off it. In fact, Reese has been pretty clear about this whole rivalry thing. She said, me and Caitlin Clark don't hate each other, it's just a super competitive game. Imagine that. Two top players respecting each other's game instead of buying into the drama. Who would have thought? But wait, there's more. Clark's former Iowa teammates? They're not jealous or bitter. Nope, they're celebrating like crazy. Gabby Marshall and Kate Martin were quick to shout out Clark's achievement on social media. It's like they're saying, yeah, she's in the pros now, but she's still our girl. You know what's wild? Clark didn't just win Rookie of the Year, she won it unanimously. Every single voter looked at her season and said, yep, she's the one. And get this, it mirrors Aja Wilson's unanimous MVP honor. That's not just a good rookie season, that's a future of the league type of season. Think about it. Clark comes into the league with all this hype. Some veterans are doubting her. The pressure's on. And what does she do? She doesn't just live up to the hype. She exceeds it. She breaks records. She silences doubters. And she does it all while keeping her cool. But here's the real kicker. It's not just about the stats or the awards. It's about how Clark is changing the game. Her boyfriend's casual duh reaction, that shows people are starting to expect greatness from her. The support from a supposed rival like Reese, that's breaking down the myth that women athletes can't support each other. And her former teammates celebrating her success, that's building a network of support that goes beyond team lines. All this hype around Clark got me thinking. Remember when people said women's basketball would never be as exciting as men's? Yeah, about that. Clark's rookie season just blew that argument out of the water. But is one player enough to change the entire landscape of women's basketball? Let's talk about the future of the WNBA. Clark's not just breaking records, she's breaking the mold. Her rookie season is like a blueprint for future stars. Imagine you're a young girl watching Clark dominate the court. You're thinking, that could be me someday. That's powerful stuff, but it's not just about inspiring the next generation. Clark's success is changing how people see women's basketball right now. She's not just playing the game, she's elevating it. Every assist, every three-pointer, every triple-double is like a statement. This is what women's basketball can be. You know what's really cool? Clark's not just talking the talk, she's walking the walk. She's out there advocating for positive representation of the WNBA. She's saying things like, for me, that's why I became a fan of this league, is these people were my idols. It's like she's passing the torch before she's even finished her rookie season. Think about it. When a rookie comes in and starts breaking records held by WNBA legends, that's not just a good season, that's a game changer. We're talking about a player who's redefining what's possible in women's basketball. But here's where it gets really interesting. Clark's impact goes beyond the stats. She's changing the conversation around women's basketball. People aren't just talking about her game, they're talking about the future of the sport. That's the kind of impact that can shape a league. Remember how some veterans doubted Clark at first? Now they're probably thinking, what just happened? It's like Clark showed up and said, this is the new normal. And you know what? The basketball world is listening. But let's pump the brakes for a second. Is Clark redefining excellence in professional women's basketball? Or is this just the beginning? That's the million-dollar question. Are we watching the start of a new era in the WNBA? Here's what we know. Clark's rookie season wasn't just great, it was historic. She set a new benchmark for what rookies can achieve. But it's not just about the numbers. It's about the energy she brings to the game, the way she's capturing people's attention. Think about past rookies who changed the game. Players like Candace Parker or Maya Moore. They didn't just have great rookie seasons, they reshaped expectations. Clark's in that conversation now. She's not just living up to the hype, she's exceeding it. But here's the thing, Clark's impact could go way beyond her individual achievements. She's showing that women's basketball can be just as exciting, just as competitive, just as worthy of attention as men's basketball. That's huge. Imagine a future where every WNBA game is must-see TV, where young girls dream of being the next Caitlin Clark, where the league is growing, thriving, pushing boundaries. That's the kind of future Clark's rookie season is hinting at.